All right. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? Yeah. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. We did a quick stream last night working on this Tallgeese Flugel. There he is. We built the first of the two wings. And so we're back today to finish up the rest of the kit, including the weapons loadout. I think maybe that the background music is a little too loud still. Let's turn it down just a touch. See if that helps. All right, there we go. So on to the left wing, I believe. Yeah. So already this morning I've noticed that in this new studio space, we had problems in the past on Thursdays because of the lawn maintenance guys who come and mow my yard on Thursdays. And they were right outside the window of the old space, making all kinds of noise that would sometimes appear in the stream. And I can hear them now already through my headphones in this new space already, so I don't think that this change of location solves that problem. Not that I was expecting it to. But I will need to go back and listen to the beginning of this part, or the beginning part of this stream, and see how much we can hear that background noise from the lawn guys. I'm not really following the instructions here. I'm just cutting out the parts that I remember that we needed from the other wing that I built last night. And then we will put these all together. I think I've already mentioned that my plan after finishing this snap build was to move forward with my Master Grade Virtue, which is back there behind me on the shelf, and do some painting and detailing on that. However, it's been so long since I've airbrushed at this point, because I took such a long break, you know, to build this space out. I feel like I'm a little bit out of practice, and maybe I should, you know, do some sort of quick practice airbrushing on some other kit first, before I start working on that one. So I'm thinking about that. I might actually do that. So there might be some sort of a small build of some kind. I'm not sure, maybe just like a little SD kit or something like that. I was at my local comic book store the other day, and I did pick up a small SD kit because they had one, and I don't normally build those, but I'm trying to when I see Gunpla at one of my local shops, I usually try to buy something to encourage them to stock more. And so that's why I did that. So yeah, maybe we'll get that one out and build that one real quick, and then paint it up. so that I can get myself back in the practice of airbrushing. Because there is a technique to it, and I don't want to... I don't want to go into the big, fancy paint job without being in at least a little bit of practice. So it looks to me like my microphone is actually not picking up a whole lot of that background lawnmower noise. Because if I'm quiet and I'm not talking, I see that the meter is not really moving at all when that lawnmower goes by my window. So it's probably a good sign. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. It might have picked something up there, so we'll see. I'll have to listen back and see how it goes. Fortunately, they're usually pretty quick, and then they move on to the rest of the neighborhood, and then it will get quiet outside. Hello, good morning. If it's morning for you, it's morning for me. I'm finishing up the snap build of this Tallgeese Flugel. 8 o'clock there. Yeah, it's just after 9 here. Yeah, so I was working on this kit like a month ago on the Twitch channel, and then I was on vacation for a week, and then I took a bit of a break from streaming because I was building out this new space where I've moved all of my build stuff to, and so I'm finally getting back to building this thing, and it feels like it's been a long time. I think it's been maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, I had this one in my backlog for a long time as well. And part of the reason that I have decided to stream some builds is just to force myself to build all of these things that were in my backlog. So that's what we're doing. So the wings aren't too bad. If you, I don't know if you've built the Master Grade Wing Zero Verka, but if you have, they're basically the same. There's more different pieces than I was expecting. Even like these feathers on the wings, which look the same between the two kits, are slightly different. But the way that they go together is the same. The pieces are just, they have a little bit of like more angular details on some of these feathers than the originals. That sounds like fun. Real Great Sazabi is a very good kit. I think everybody that I've heard talk about it agrees that it's a very good kit. So I hope you enjoy that one. That is Virtue behind me. And it, now that I've finished this, building out this space, which has my airbrush setup and other stuff in it as well, the plan was always to take that snap-built Virtue that's back there and detail it up. I have a detailed painted Dynamis and Curios, and so I want to make that Virtue in the same style. So as soon as I finish this snap build, I'm going to get started working on that. I think will be the next big project. And I'll be streaming most of that work, I hope. So we'll see how that goes. If you hear crazy background noise, it's the lawnmowers outside my front window. So hopefully they'll disappear shortly here. They are kind of loud. I think these wings look so much better with this yellow emblem thing on them. The Wing Zero wings are just so plain white. So I think this adds a lot. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll switch over here. So this is my Dynamis. So I added a bunch of little extra scribed details on the shield bits and elsewhere on the kit as well. So, and then some color separation on especially the white parts, and then the two-tone green. And so then the Curios is, let's see, right here, same sort of deal. And actually a few of the shared parts, like up here in the upper thighs and whatever, I did exact same scribing between the two kits. And so the plan with Virtue is to do the same thing again, right? So it looks like they all came from the same factory and have some interchangeable parts. So yeah, this is the style that I'll be going for with the Virtue, and it will it'll look hopefully like it's, you know, belongs with these other two. I'm not sure that I understand the question. How do I do what? If you're talking about panel line scribing, I use chisels like this one. This one's 0.2 millimeters. And then scribing tape. So you lay out your pattern on the parts, and then you put tape down, and you can search on YouTube and find videos on how to do panel line scribing. So I do that, and then I mix up a couple of slightly different shades of a similar color of paint, so that I get a little bit of color separation like between the whites and the oranges and the greens and, you know, whatever the main colors. Yeah, so panel lining is when you, you know, a kit comes with panel lines and you put a little bit of ink or wash or something in there to fill those in. But panel line scribing is, you know, making your own panel lines. So, yeah, if you search around on YouTube, you can find some good videos on that. And hopefully, if I can finish this up and get started with Virtue in the next couple weeks, I will show some of that here on the channel as well. It's kind of a tedious process. I'm not sure that it'll be that interesting to watch on stream because, you know, it might be kind of boring. For me, panel scribing is mostly just really deep concentration. So like I don't feel like I'll be able to talk while I do it either. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I feel like it'll just be me sitting here in silence looking at tiny pieces of tape and putting them on parts and very carefully using those chisels to scribe lines. Yeah, that is one of those things, like, the more you build, the more you get into, at least I find, the more you get into wanting to do more advanced things. Like, every time I do a new build, I feel like I have to one-up what I did before. And so that's how I've picked up some of these other techniques over the few years that I've been building as well. The other thing I have with that Master Grade Virtue is you probably can't see it because it's somewhere back there on the shelf behind me. I don't think it's visible in shot. I got a expansion, it was a third-party thing for it that has a bunch of clear parts, so you can display it with the armor, the outer Virtue armor sort of being expelled off of the Gundam Nodlay underneath. And so I'm going to display it that way when I finally get the final thing done. Do I wash my trees before I build? No, I don't. I do. I paint almost everything I build, and so I snap build first, and then I disassemble and sand everything down and clean it all up, and after sanding then I wash the parts individually before I paint them. So I don't find the need to wash the trees before building. And I think that generally I would say that modern manufacturing processes for kits are such that you probably don't need to clean these things anyway. I think they come pretty well cleaned of all of the mold release and other things that they put on them. Turn the page. I'm missing one more of these feathers that I need. Is it this one? I think it's the only one left. Yeah. I probably need to just speak into my mic better instead of leaning away from it and or mumbling. So thanks for letting me know. All right, so we'll turn off that filter. Let me know if that seems better. I suppose I should keep talking so you can let me know if that seems better. I had a noise suppression thing on it to try to get rid of some of the background noise, and that was probably cranked up a little too high. That's my guess. Yeah, can you hear more of the mowers now? Since I've turned that off? Yeah, so if you haven't seen these wings before, they have this little gear mechanism right here, so that when you open the one side, the other side opens with it. So when you build them, you have to make sure you line that up right, or things will be out of whack when you try to open and close the wings. Then this thing snaps over the top to hold all that in place. And I think that is it for this wing. Yeah. I believe they are, right? So I think you have to fold, I think these fold out forward like this. On the Wing Zero, they definitely can do it, so I would think that on this Tallgeese Flugel they can as well. And then these fit together or come up against each other like this. I believe even, yeah, there's a little clip on the back side here. I think that there's a part that you can optionally attach here to hold these two together in front of the mobile suit. I haven't looked ahead in the instructions to see if that's the case for this one. I know that for the Wing Zero, that was a thing that they did. So yeah, we have to build the backpack to attach these on. Yeah, so I have the only other Tallgeese I've ever built is the 3. Here, we'll switch over here again and I'll show you. So this one, I like super weathered it. I actually used a sponge to add all of these little weathering embellishments on it. But yeah, this heat rod thing on the shield I really like a lot. So that's actually one of my older builds. Probably 5 or 6 years old at this point, I believe. But yeah, that's the only other Tallgeese I have. So it's been a long time since I built one. So this has been interesting, getting back into building this kit. It's basically the same kit as far as the main mobile suit goes. Yeah, I list all of, or I post. Yeah, I post photos of all my builds there. And you're welcome to do as well. Definitely check it out. I think it's my favorite place online to post photo galleries of my builds. And sometimes I post more photos than, for some builds than I do for others. That Tallgeese, I think I only had like 2 photos altogether, so that's all I posted. But my more recent builds, I try to take photos along the way and post some work in progress photos as well when I remember to do that. My box of runners over there has gotten all out of order. I should probably just take a minute and reorganize them, because every time I reach over there to try to find a part, things aren't in the order that I expect them to be in. Still though, that to me that seems like a lot of kits in, you said, just 1 year of building? I don't think that I've ever built a clear kit. I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure I have not. It's a pretty good collection of master grades in your backlog. It sounds like it'd be fun to build for sure. I look at that full armor Thunderbolt kit every once in a while when I see it available, and I think I should get that. I like Thunderbolt a lot. I think it's probably my favorite Gundam anime series. And I have the entire collection, at least so far, of the English translated manga for Thunderbolt. But I've never built the Psycho Zaku or the full armor. from that series. I really, really wish that they would make a Master Grade Atlas Gundam. And if they did, I would buy it immediately. But so far, no luck with that. That's a lot of Leos. Do you have them like all displayed together as a giant army somewhere? No sound at all. I think I just stopped talking. Sorry, I was distracted for a second by a notification on my phone. But the music should have still been going, I hope. Alright, cool. No music. That's strange. Okay. It might have just been between songs or something. Well, that's extremely strange. I'll have to look into the settings and see if I can figure out why it's doing that. I did, when I relocated all of my stuff from the room inside my house where this used to be to this new space that's out in my garage, I had to sort of re-hook up and reconfigure everything, so it's not too surprising to me if things are a little bit strange or wrong. All right. So this backpack is kind of strange. It's like two-tone. It's got this darker bluish gray and then white on the out. I guess this is the outside. Yeah, this must be the outside of it. It's a little strange. It'll probably be fine once we see the final thing. So let's keep going. Now I do remember from my Wing Zero that these arms that I'm building right now, which are the little arms that connect the wings, the big parts of the wings, they were a little bit flimsy. You have to be careful when you're posing to not break off the pegs that these things rotate on. And mostly I say that just to remind myself that as I build these, I need to be careful with them. This, yeah, this doesn't have a specific orientation. It can be either direction there and be fine. All right, so these two go in here. Yeah, I believe it was this peg right here that I was mentioning earlier on my Wing Zero. As I rotated it a lot to pose the wings, especially when I was doing the photography session with that kit, one of these almost sheared completely off, and I have to be super careful now with it when I pose that kit because I don't want it to fall off completely and then have to repair it. Alright, so backpack on. Nice solid connection, so that's good. I don't think it's going anywhere when we put these heavy wings on it. Alright, so there he is with those two wings, and the other two obviously just go right here. So there it is from the back and from the front. See if he stands up. Yeah, if you balance things correctly, like if you put the wings too far back or too far forward, it's gonna be out of balance and want to tip. But you can definitely find a way to pose him so that he can stand on his own here. Yeah, that looks nice. I like it. And then this, these wings, I think we mentioned them when we were building them the other day. They have this part that opens here that exposes this extra thruster. And that's different from the Wing Zero version of the wings. They don't have that. So let's actually keep those open. And then from the front, we could also open this, right? If we wanted to. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's just put him there-ish for a second. While I look ahead at the instructions and see what is next. So it looks like 3 weapons, and then a shield and some beam sabers. That's more than I was expecting, actually. So the heat halberd is first. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to build with this guy here. His wings are too big. Here, let's turn this camera. There. Now he can be in frame over there while I build over here. So this weapon has a white handle, it looks like to me, which is kinda strange. And I will almost certainly paint it to something different.
Yeah.
I do like that it appears, at least, that they've tried to carry over the yellow details, some small ones, onto the weapons, which is always something I enjoy seeing. You know, if like whatever the accent color is on the mobile suit itself gets carried over at least a little bit onto the weapons. They look like then that they were designed specifically for that mobile suit. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Hit him with my hand while I was trimming parts, and he falls over. There. I'll try not to do that again. The tip of this one feather is very close to my left hand, so it's in danger of getting knocked over again at any second. Yeah, so that's going to turn out to be a very tiny yellow embellishment, just these little bits right here from this part that sits inside, just showing through a couple of the little gaps right there. Some nice detail on this weapon. I like it. I like the detail in it. I don't like the color choices necessarily, but that can always be fixed. This goes this way. Yeah, definitely cool shapes and details on this thing, but not a fan of the colors. So it looked like this might have been built this way so that it could like hinge or something along the handle here. But that is not the case. These just are solidly in place here. And it's not perfectly straight either. Alright, but there's that. It's just a little taller than the mobile suit itself. So that's cool. I'm gonna take a short break because I've got something on my resin printer that's printing. Actually, here. I'll bring you along to look. I need to check on this thing that's printing on my resin printer because it's failed a couple times and I think it's working now, but I just want to be sure, and it's far enough along that we should be able to see. So let's go check. Yeah, looks correct now, so that's good. Ever since I moved that printer out here to the new studio space, that was only a couple days ago, I've tried to print a few things since then, and I recalibrated the printer. That should have been sufficient, but I was getting some failures on some prints, and so I went back and cleaned everything, disassembled it all, cleaned it all this morning, and reset everything and recalibrated again, and now that seems to have finally solved the issue, so that's good. Alright, on to the lance. I think we call it officially the heat lance because everything, all the weapons have the word heat in them for whatever reason. This one looks to be pretty simple as far as a number of pieces. standpoint goes. It does have these nice yellow rings that fit over the top of the lance, looks like, for some little ring circular details along the length of the lance. Yeah, so I was about to start assembling this and then I realized I didn't trim the nubs off of the most important parts. Let's do that first. Just realized I'm pretty sure that when I moved all of my tools and stuff out here to the new studio space that I did not bring along. I have a little desk vacuum sort of thing, and it's I use it to vacuum up the nubs when I'm done with each section of the build usually. And I think that it's still in my old space in the house, hasn't moved out here yet, so this little pile of nubs is going to have to stay here for a while until I go inside and grab that. Alright, so it wants us to bring this ring on from the end here. It kind of separates out and then should snap right into that groove there. Very nice. And then we have the bigger one, which we do the same thing with. Bring it on like this. And it should snap into this groove up here. Very cool. And then this gap where it's separated so that it would fit on there gets covered up by something in a minute. So that removes any of the seams or other things you would find from that gap, so that's cool. And this fits here like this. This rotates for some reason that I'm not sure what the reason is yet, but we'll figure it out. Oh, I see. It fits on here and then you rotate it this way to kind of snap it in place. Changed my mind. I said a little while ago that this heat lance didn't seem like it had a lot of pieces. Turns out it does. I just wasn't looking far enough ahead in the instructions to realize that it was a more complex build than what I was expecting. Which is nice. This one looks pretty cool too. I think I really like all of the weapons so far for this kit, so it's going to be interesting to decide which one to pose him with at the end. Alright, so these sandwich on here. And again, that yellow part was just to provide these, it's actually a similar style of these little yellow embellishments that show through the outer bits. So nice consistency there in the design of the weapons. So these fold out. I'm not quite sure why. But there they are. All right, we have one more piece that goes on the end. Yeah, so this little end cap here. I always check those to see if they have a little notch so that it forces them to go on a specific way, but this one did not, so just fits on there any way you'd like. So there's the other weapon. We'll drop it right there for now. And then we have a Dober gun. Now that I think back, I remember when we unboxed this kit, there was a small spring, I believe, in a little bag that I'm pretty sure goes in this Dober gun as a way to control the little forward back mechanism that it has. And I don't know what I did with that spring, so hooray. Never mind, I found it. There it is. Alright, so we'll drop it right there so I don't lose it. And I think we'll use it shortly. So based on the runners that it's using, I think that this must be the same Dober gun that came with some other version of the Tallgeese at some point, because these are not new runners for the Flugel kit. Let's get this one other part that we need for interfacing with that spring. And then that should give us enough at least to build the main body of this gun. I was just looking over, there's like an hour left on that resin print that's running that we just checked a minute ago. And I think finally, after 4 tries? 3 tries? I've lost count. I think it was 4 tries now. I think it's finally going to print correctly. So that's encouraging. Alright, we need polycaps. That's another way you can tell that this is an older weapon design, because it uses polycaps. Alright, we need 14, we also need 12. Where are you, 12? There. And we need an 8. Alright, now we should finally be able to put this together. So, there's a handle. That was actually tricky, fitting that polycap in to the tiny little square indentation where it's supposed to snap into. I'm just realizing that my favorite tool for manipulating and inserting small parts and polycaps into their correct places, which is a toothpick, has also not made its way out here into my new studio space yet either. So let's hope that we don't need one, because I'll have to go back inside the house and grab it. Alright, so the handle goes there. Now we have to do something with this tiny spring. And that thing we need to do with this tiny spring is not lose it. There we go. While it wasn't looking, it rolled away on the mat, and then suddenly I couldn't find it. All right. This wants to go on here first. So it goes around that peg right there, and then probably goes around that peg right there. Yep, that looks correct. Oh, I've dropped it. Alright, this is going to be the fun moment where we get to watch me struggle with tiny parts. We will use these tweezers to grab that ring and drop it right here where it needs to go. Yeah, that wasn't too bad actually. So we have this sliding mechanism, which I don't want to play with too much here before we get this all sandwiched together, because I don't want the spring to pop off and fly away. That would be tragic. Alright, so with that part on there, I now believe that we can put this together and close it all up. Yeah, that seems good. So this spring-loaded action is working. This is all fit together well. I missed a nub, which is terrible. I think that I can very carefully get it with the hobby knife, and then I won't have to disassemble this. Fortunately, this hobby knife is extremely sharp. I just put a new blade on it yesterday. Alright, there we go. That seems better. It's all fitting now. It was not fitting before. I almost knocked the mobile suit over again by hitting that feather on the end of its wing with my arm. I should probably just cut out all the parts off this runner because I think that we're going to use them all. Although it hasn't called for 17 yet, so... You know what? I'm going to put the runner up there out of the way because I have a feeling that when I turn the page of the instructions that we're going to need all the rest of those parts. Ah, there we go. Knew that was going to happen again. Alright, so this time, what do? We move him even further off to the side, like so. There. So this goes in here where that polycap was. It's like the side handle, I believe. And then we need this back here. And this thing slots down on top of this little peg that went through. So this is part of the spring mechanism now. Yeah, okay. I get it. So this comes down and releases that, so then that can pull back. Oh, and this has to go on up top. Alright, we have super tiny clear part, which feels like one of those things that I'm likely to lose. So I'm going to put it right here in the very middle of the square so that I will remember that that's where it is. Hopefully, I will remember that's where it is. What do we need from here? 27? And is that all? That might be all from the E-runner. Oh, eventually. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get those later. There's like the piece that mounts it up under his shoulder, and that definitely needs some more parts off of that runner. But we're a little ways away from needing those right at the moment. Alright, don't forget, tiny clear part is in the middle of the square. Huh. Now I'm confused because I thought the lawn guys were done quite a long time ago. And suddenly there's very loud noise out my window again. So, I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe they were actually not done. Alright, so getting this thing centered and fit into this tiny place is going to be hard. Also, I just temporarily dropped it. And it ended up over there in the pile of nubs. So let's not do that again. Instead, let's use the build mat to get this perfectly centered and then just push it in like that. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. Perfect. All right. And the good thing is, if you want to take this apart for painting later, it does, there's a hole all the way through the back of it. Hey, now is a good time to use the zoom feature. There we go. So there is a hole just on the back side of this, so you could poke a toothpick or other small object through that space to push this clear part out if you needed to. All right, and with that out of the way, we can get back to putting this together. So this goes on top. It is the scope. And then I am missing a couple parts from other runners that we haven't looked at yet. One of them is this light gray part, which there hasn't been a lot of this color on this kit. It was just this one runner, which is now empty. I guess according to tradition, I should have thrown that on the floor. I did not. I put it back in the box. Shame on me. Alright, so that goes there. That's going to be where the barrel mounts into, I believe. I just lost a runner. I was looking all in the box. Couldn't find it, and it turns out it's that one that I put right up there a few minutes ago saying, I know we're going to need this again, so I'm just going to put it right there. Yeah. I'm super smart. I hope if you were watching me do that, you were shouting at your screen. It's right there. You put it on the table, you idiot. All right. So this one now is empty? No, it's not. This 17 is still here. Do we need this? Ah, yes, we do. Excellent. So now it's going to be empty. And in the new studio, this will be the first runner that we ever throw on the floor. Here we go. Perfect. That one I've trimmed already. Took a quick glance over to that resin printer. Everything still looks okay over there. At least from where I'm sitting here. I think it's gonna work. Hooray. Alright, so let's finish trimming these nubs. Excellent. Okay. So this goes here. What am I running in the resin printer? Is that your question? Because if you're asking what I'm building, it's like sitting right there. Oh, as a resin printer, I have a Prusa SL1, which comes from a company in the Czech Republic. It's a really good resin printer. At least I've thought so far. I have used a few of the Elegoo resins in this printer, and they've always worked well for me. So, yeah. That's cool. The Saturn S is the one with the bigger print bed, is that true? We have this spring-loaded action going on here. Right, yeah, this Prusa printer is also mono. I don't think that this is fit all the way in here. I think it actually snaps into place. So let's carefully do that without breaking it. All right, I suppose we should build the little shoulder mount part for that. Yeah, I agree. The kit is not meant to be played with, in my opinion at least. It's meant to be painted and posed and displayed. So the moving gun, yeah, I don't care. And actually this shoulder mount, I'm not sure I care about that either, because I'm not sure that I'm gonna pose this guy with the Dober gun. I like the other weapons better. But I'll go ahead and build it anyway. Oh yeah, that could be cool. I have a feeling, speaking of white, that this Tallgeese is not going to remain white. I don't think. I think when I finally paint it, it's going to be, I'm not sure yet, but not white. Yeah, I think maybe not totally black, like not pure black, but something darker for sure, I think, is what I'm going to go with. We'll have to see. Alright, so here's that shoulder mount. I think for now I'm not going to put it on the mobile suit, because I don't really care to ever probably put it on the mobile suit, so we'll just leave it there. Yeah, maybe let's build the shield and be done for today. Some kind of big truck is outside now. One thing I've noticed for sure in this new space that I've moved into is that there's a lot more, at least for me, there's a lot more background noise. I hope it's not coming through the microphones too much.
Took a walk among the stars tonight, found myself a washing colored light. It felt like spirits had awakened me. This carnival of animals had taken me.
I'm going to leave this runner right here because I have something I want to look at in a minute here after we finish building the shield. I'm curious whether there are enough parts left over to build the normal Tallgeese backpack, the one with the thrusters that open up. It looks like there might be.
When I felt the change, it startled me. This carnival of animals is part of me. Is all I see.
All right, we need the handle. I guess while we're at it, we should grab the two beam sabers and mount them back here on the shield where they go. All right, there we go. So yeah, what I wanted to look at was, right, we've got these two and this, which are parts of that backpack. We have these two fins, which go on it. It looks like that's all on those runners. But then we have all of this, right? So these are all the inner frame bits for those opening thrusters, and then these are all the pieces that fit on the outside. And I think, yeah, right here we have, no, those aren't bits for the inner hinge parts. They might be here. Yeah. And then here's where the thrusters mount on, the thruster bells. So yeah, I think that it's possible to build that entire original Tallgeese backpack with the parts that are left over. All right, so there he is. The lance and the halberd are both actually about the same height, and they're a little bit taller than the mobile suit itself. I like those both. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not crazy about the color scheme of this halberd, but that can be fixed with paint. I think I'm more likely to pose the final kit with one of these rather than the Dober gun, but maybe we'll leave it hanging under his shoulder just for visual interest. We'll see. So yeah, that's done at this point, other than just like the swappable hand options and things like that, but I'm not going to build those here on stream. That seems kind of boring and pointless for this type of a setup. So there he is. Yeah, it took forever to finish this because of my long break in between building the mobile suit itself and then these wings. So I'm happy that it's done. And then coming up next, now that I'm more comfortable streaming in this new space, we'll do some kind of a real project that includes some painting and scribing and masking and all those fun things that I enjoy, but that might not be so exciting to watch on a stream. We'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to trying that out. Probably starting next week. We'll see how that goes. Probably with the Master Grade Virtue that's been sitting there on the shelf behind me during this stream. So with that, I hope you have a good day, and I am going to go check on that resin print, make sure it worked out. I'm pretty sure it did, so that's exciting. And I will see you next time. See ya.